I am so nervously excited for this video. Typically, I don't like choosing my favorite reads of this year because I'm like, or of the previous year, because I'm like, wonder if I messed up and did the wrong thing and just like, I feel like it gives me like so much anxiety about it. Hello friends, this is the very first video that I am filming for 2024. I know that there was already a top 5 Wednesday video if you want to check it out, but I wanted to film first before I dove head first into reading books in 2024. I wanted to do this video talking about what was my favorite manga or manhwa, because I do have a few manhwa on this list, of 2023. So a friend of mine made a bracket at the beginning of 2023. I think her username is Trolley Poppins. I will leave like her username here. I loved her bracket, and that's exactly what it is. It's just a 2023 reading bracket, and each month we chose what was our favorite read of that month. We put it in the bracket, and I waited until now to decide how this reading bracket was going to go, how I was going to see what was my ultimate favorite read of 2023. I hope I choose the right one. And I mean, there's no wrong one. I know this, like, you know, in my brain I know this, but it's just, it's hard. And even in the month of December, I sort of like second guessed what I felt was my favorite, because I'm like, there were some really good things I read at the end of the year, and I was really glad that I did decide to wait, though I kept what I put on my reading bracket. So let's go ahead and see what was my favorite reads for each month. Again, I can only choose one. The struggle was real. The struggle was real. So for January, I said Honey Lemon Soda, and I will mention, like, on my reading bracket, when I show it, you're going to see that some of the volume covers I have were for later in the series. Granted, for Honey Lemon Soda, I said volume 1, but I just chose the volume 1s off my shelf because I felt it was the easiest way to go. But I said Honey Lemon Soda because I absolutely loved it. It released in January, totally blew my expectations away, and just felt like that was rightfully deserved to have as a favorite read. For February, I said My Coworker Has a Secret because I deeply related to Zodakari. Yeah, Akari, her whole vibe, I extremely related to, of spending your money on merch for your favorite characters that you absolutely love. Granted, for her, it's her favorite idol, but for me, it's my favorite characters. For March, I said The Villainess Stands the Hero. This is, or heroes, I should say, right? Yeah, the heroes, more than just one. I deeply related to her as well. I feel like if I was reincarnated as a villainess in an Otome game, or just a game in general, yes, how she acts is exactly how I would be. Standing the heroes, absolutely loving them, doing whatever you have to do so that everything goes smoothly for the heroes that you absolutely love. I really, really enjoyed this series. It's been so much fun. For April, I said The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen because this was a very emotional villainous read, or like in the villainous genre, that I definitely didn't expect. I feel like it offered something very unique when it comes to other villainous manga that I have read. It was not a super funny read. It was very touching, and deeply, deeply enjoyed this one as well. For May, I chose Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants Me to Make a Love Potion. I didn't super love volume 1. I said I think volume 2 was my favorite, and I do stand by that because volume 1 was good, but it didn't quite meet my expectations, but volume 2 like well surpassed them. Volume 3 has surpassed them. Definitely feel like this series in general, the first 3 volumes, are definitely some of my favorite reads this year, and I've been really excited because I know near the end of December, Marg at Marg Reads Manga, Pippa at Strawberry Shoujo, and there was one other lady, but they all did like some templates where you chose like your top 3 shoujo manga of 2023, and I was really happy that on 2 of the lists that Hi, I'm a Witch was chosen, because I definitely feel it's rightfully deserved. Again, I enjoyed volumes 2 and 3 more, but I just chose volume 1 for just the sake of this video and having all of the volume 1s. For June, yes, The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. I love this one. I think I said volume 2 because I really loved volume 1, and I felt like volume 2 surpassed my expectations of already what I had from volume 1. I have continued to deeply enjoy this series. It is so funny and just so much fun, and Kyoyo is a blast. I really, really enjoy it. I knew that for sure that this was in like my top 10 favorite reads of 2023 because it just continues to be so much fun, and talk more about that in my reading wrap-up video from December. That was last Friday, I believe, just of how much I love Kyoyo and how interesting the latest volume was. For July, I said My Girlfriend's Child. I believe I have volume 2's cover on my reading bracket, and I felt like that was really true as well, because this series is not my typical happy fluff that I really enjoy reading, but it's very deep and hard-hitting, and the characters, just, I'm amazed by them and seeing the decisions that they have to make at such a young age with such a heavy thing of being pregnant pregnant at such a young age was just, it's really hard hitting. It really grips your heart. It's been one I have been very much surprised of how much I enjoyed it, and even that it made my list for this reading bracket, but I stand behind that statement or stand behind this manga, that it is definitely deserved like top favorite for 2023, and I highly recommend checking it out. It is amazing, and this is another manga that we're in like the final arc, and I'm just like, there are too many manga that are in the final arc. Like, you know what the Dawn is, A Condition Called Love, Queen's Quality, and My Girlfriend's Child. I'm like, no, like, please don't all of them go in their final arcs at the same time, because they're all just really, really good, including My Girlfriend's Child. For my first manhwa, like, this is probably no surprise. I think I have volume 3, I think that's the cover, but Villains Are Destined to Die. I love Penelope so much. I feel like every time I'm sharing about her on this channel, whether it's for a top 5 Wednesday or reading wrap up, I am gushing how much I love her, and I was like, she has to at some point be on my list of things I really, really enjoyed reading this year, and I love it. I love it. I love every single volume, but I feel like every volume is getting better and better and better. For September, I was so excited. The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. I know this is not a new a new release, and I don't know if all of these are new releases for 2023, and I didn't necessarily make it where I had to release in 2023 because that's too much of a struggle for me in my opinion. So I was really excited to include this. Sei has become one of my favorite all-time like shoujo josei heroines. I deeply, deeply love her, and this was a series that I put off. I read some of it and I put off reading more of the volumes because I simply just did not want it to end. I enjoyed it so much. So excited we're getting the latest or the next volume this month. Like, yes, I will be reading it ASAP this time though, and not waiting and putting it off because I don't want it to end. I need more of this, gang. I love this manga so much. For October, I said volume 2 of this, and that's Like a Butterfly. I really enjoyed volume 1, but volume 2 was extremely good. I loved volume 2. I liked volume 3. I know volume 4 is out, but as of filming this video, I don't have it in my hands yet, so that might have changed, but I really, really love volume 2. Like, that was definitely one of my favorite reads of October. Like, I very vividly remember my daughter went over to my grandma's and I was just kicking and squilling my feet on my couch as I was reading it. It was everything. I have really enjoyed this series. It is very slow burn, but it's very sweet and very precious, and just I'm so glad that we finally have another Suma Rashida series in English. For November, I don't have this one because I read it digitally, but I will be picking it up physically this year, and that is My Secretly Hot Husband. I blew so much money on this during the Black Friday Thanksgiving sale that they had. It was so good. It was so good. I'm actually part of a pin commitment group right now that I'm hoping to stick with because I really love these characters in this series, and it's the only, like, I knew that I had to say it was the favorite read of this month because I was willing to do so many things to get free ink on Tappy Tunes, which is like sort of like their currency that they have, and then I just spent a bunch of money in general on this story. It was phenomenal, so good. Cannot wait to have it in my hands. And then for December, I said Seventh Time Loop because I'd actually read volume 1 in January. I dropped it because I didn't super love it, but then I came back, read volumes 1 through 3 after the anime announcement because that's just what I do for whatever reason, and I was head over heels. Like, I liked volume 1 the second time, but I loved volume 2 and onward, and I just could not stop thinking about this manga. I actually bought volume 4 at full price during, like, when I have my annual doctor's appointment. After I went there, I went to the bookstore, picked it up, read it that same day, and it was just phenomenal. It was so good, and I knew that this was a series that was my favorite read, I think, for December because I just could not stop thinking about it. I was bummed that I had to move on to read other things when I just wanted to keep reading this series, which spoke a lot to me personally. So those were all of my favorite reads of the individual months from 2023. So let's go ahead and dive in to how we're going to do this reading bracket. Again, I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous because I think it's just gonna be really hard because, like I said, all these are my favorites. So let's go ahead and start off with January and February are competing. I feel like it's sort of unfair because My Kokura's Secret only has 2 volumes. I loved volume 1. I really, really love Akari. Volume 2 was good. It was still really good, but not as good as volume 1. With Honey Lemon Soda, every volume has continued to get better. And I actually would have said, whenever volume 4 came out, whenever I read that, which, yeah, was the beginning of December, I would have said that that was my favorite read of December as well because I deeply enjoyed just where this series is going. So I'm pretty confident that I'm going to say Honey Lemon Soda is going to move forward in this round just because I feel it's a little unfair, but when I think of how this series is progressing and how much I'm loving it, it's going to move forward. For March and April, the villainess stands the heroes and heretical last boss queen. I feel bad because humor is going to win out here, and the villainess stands the heroes. As soon as I saw it, my brain's like, we're going with the villainess stands the heroes. Really enjoy the shenanigans in that series, and I forget our main girl's name, but just how she is head over heels for these characters and just the funny shenanigans about it. I always have a blast. There's only 2 volumes out currently, but I love both of them. Feel bad because I really, really love Pride and Heretical Last Boss Queen, and I feel like if there were more volumes, because the artists didn't want to go forward with the series anymore because of health issues. So there's definitely plenty more story that can be adapted from the light novels, but we only have volumes 1 through 3, and they are very strong, very good, strong 5 stars for each volume. But I really feel like I'm going to go with the villainess stands the hero just purely for the humor aspect and how much I have really enjoyed this series. I feel like Heretical Last Boss Queen is one that I have very deep memories of or fond memories of because of how it impacted me, but I don't feel like it has where I'm going to reread it as often as I have the villainess stands the heroes. And that is something that's very important to me personally, that in order for it to be a favorite, I have to have reread the volume. I think with all of these almost, except for My Girlfriend's Child, I think, well, and My Secretly Hot, well, no, I have actually reread some of My Secretly Hot Husband. I think though My Girlfriend's Child and The Heretical Last Boss Queen are the only 2 that I have not reread volumes. I've got to give it to the villainess stands the heroes for this one. So for May and June, oh gosh, this is hard. So Hi, I'm a Witch and The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. These 2 are very, very different series, and I honestly don't know. I have reread Hi, I'm a Witch, and I've also reread The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom. I feel hesitant to say that Kyoyo should win here, even though it's a lot funnier than Hi, I'm a Witch. But volume 2 of Hi, I'm a Witch, very much, considering that volume 2 was going to be the make it or break it volume for that series, I feel like maybe I should go with Hi, I'm a Witch, because just how surprised I was a very strong factor. And when I think of both of them, I think of Hi, I'm a Witch. This was it. This volume the second volume had me hooked, wanting to read more, while I think I said that for The Eccentric Moonflower Doctor, in that volume 1 was fantastic and volume 2 was even better. I feel like with The Eccentric Moonflower Kingdom, the Eccentric Doctor, that I feel like with that series, it just continues to be phenomenal every single volume. I did not have quite that same shock, surprising factor of how much I enjoyed it. So going with that, I am going to say Hi, I'm a Witch will move forward for that reason, because volume 2, that volume was everything. That was a really, really good volume. All right, going to July and August. Oh gosh, My Girlfriend's Child and Villains Are Destined to Die. Now, I did try and keep it with manga because I knew when it came to this moment that I was like, I'm going to choose Penelope, but I feel hesitant to say that Penelope is going to beat out My Girlfriend's Child simply because of the emotion that is in My Girlfriend's Child and how, again, it's not a happy story, but it's just so powerful and just so impactful. As much as I love and adore Penelope, I am hesitant to have Penelope beat out My Girlfriend's Child on this, even though I have reread Villains Are Destined to Die. I purposely looked up spoilers. I follow fan accounts of this now. I am on the hype train very, very hard, but I think I'm going to give it to My Girlfriend's Child on this one, because don't feel right having Penelope beat out My Girlfriend's Child. So I'm sorry, Penelope. I'm so sorry. I'm going with My Girlfriend's Child for this one, even though I feel really bad. Even though I have not reread these volumes. I mean, I think before I read the next one, I do skim the previous volume, but it's not the entire thing. It's like, okay, I got to get my bearings and remember where everything's at. This is hard. This is hard. For September and October, Saints, Magic Powers Omnipotent, and Like a Butterfly. I really want to say Like a Butterfly, but when I think of the series, both of these are ongoing. I feel like as a whole, it does not beat out Say. I know when reading Saints, Magic Powers Omnipotent that I did pause. I know that I paused there, but I'm giving this to Say. I'm giving this to Say because if I were to rate maybe individual volumes and the way that I felt, Like a Butterfly Volume 2 would definitely win here. I definitely feel that. But when I think of how they're ongoing and how I've read multiple volumes, well, 3 volumes this year, 2023, how I've read multiple volumes, I really feel like the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent is winning. It is very slow burn when it comes to the romance and such, but I love these characters. I'm gonna give it to Say, even though I feel a little bit bad. For November and December, My Secretly Hot Husband and 7 Time Loop. Oh my gosh, I read too many good things last year. This is so hard. I think I'm gonna go with My Secretly Hot Husband just purely because of how I could not stop thinking about this. Like, I went through all of these hoops just to keep reading chapters. If I could read them for free or buying them, I could not stop. It is a very wonderful series. Typically, I do not say 10 out of 10 stars. I just do 5 out of 5 stars. But this series is a 10 out of 10 stars. So I am going to go with My Secretly Hot Husband is going to win out for this. So now let's go back up and go do some more brackets. So we got, oh my gosh. Honey Lemon Soda and the Villainous Stands the Heroes. These are 2 very different kind of series. Oh gosh. I sort of want to say the Villainous Stands the Heroes. I feel like there is more progression that happens when it comes maybe to character development, if we're just going to talk about these individual volumes and not think about the series. Because, you know, if you're reading Honey Lemon Soda, you're reading for Yuka's character development, and volume 4 has had some amazing character development. I agree with a friend of mine, I think it was Scott at Geeks That Parent. He says my favorite volume yet, and I'm like, I am right there with you. Volume 4 is my favorite volume yet. I feel like if I were to do volume 2 of the Villainous Stands the Heroes against Honey Lemon Soda, I do not feel it could win the same way as volume 1. So for purely for this one, we're going to say, just talking about the volume 1s themselves, I'm going to give it to the Villainous Stands the Heroes on this one because I laughed a lot. I really enjoyed it, even though I feel really bad because I do feel in the long run, Honey Lemon Soda would win. But again, purely for volume 1s only, the Villainous Stands the Heroes is going to move forward in this bracket. All right, for the next one, oh gosh, I'm a Witch and My Girlfriend's Child. Now, I know I said that I didn't feel right that Penelope, if I had Penelope beat out My Girlfriend's Child, that I would feel really bad. But I feel like in this case, I'm a Witch, again, is going to move forward for that surprising factor of, you know, it was on the chopping block and that it surpassed that. Because both of these, I believe, are volume 2, and I feel like they're both very strong volumes. But again, I could just read volume 2 of Hi, I'm a Witch and be super content because that is how much I enjoyed that. So I feel like right away, my mind was going straight to Hi, I'm a Witch. So I am going to say Hi, I'm a Witch is going to move forward, even though I feel really bad, you know, considering My Girlfriend's Child. Oh gosh, now for this one, we have Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent versus My Secretly Hot Husband. This feels really hard because I feel like the one that is most fresh in my mind is My Secretly Hot Husband. So I do feel like I'm leaning towards that one, and it doesn't help that I talked about like the pin commitment group and that I've seen a lot of My Secretly Hot Husband in my feed recently. Well, with that said though, I did see spoilers for the anime of the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, but those scenes did not happen in the manga just yet. But I really, really loved the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent. I loved all the characters. I could easily see this one being 10 out of 10 glowing stars as well. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say of who is going to move forward for this. Let me try and think of some more things. I just bought some more merch of Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent. I found some postcards. I am always looking for merch of them. Granted, I have a bunch of saved online merch of My Secretly Hot Husband if it would drop in price. But this is like a time I just would want to do heads or tails, and whichever one is the one that wins. But my mind, I do feel like my mind went to My Secretly Hot Husband. Because if I think about the romance, I really, really love the romance in My Secretly Hot Husband a lot. I love the romance as well in the Saint's Magic Power, but it's much more slow burn. But I love the magical ability in the Saint's Magic Power. I think I'm going to go with My Secretly Hot Husband for this one, even though I'm like, Saint's Magic Power is one of my new favorite manga series, and I'm just like, I feel bad not having Say go forward for that reason, but I'm going to go with My Secretly Hot Husband for this. Final answer, locked in, cannot change. I cannot change my answer. This is getting ridiculously hard. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now we have the villainous stands the heroes versus Hi, I'm a Witch. And my secretly hot is okay, all three of them. So all three of these are competing. The villainous stands the heroes, Hi, I'm a Witch, and my crush wants me to make a love potion, and my secretly hot husband. Out of these three, I feel like the closest contenders. I love Villainous Sans the Heroes, but I really feel that it's between Hi, I'm a Witch and My Secretly Hot Husband. But I just don't know if I could say Hi, I'm a Witch is my favorite read of this year. I don't know if I could say The Villainous Sans the Heroes is my favorite book of the year. But I could say My Secretly Hot Husband was my favorite book of this year, and pretty sure I could feel happy. Or I'm just like, I could have put Saint's Magic Power. I could also see it with Saint's Magic Power being my favorite book of the year as well. I think what I'm going to say is My Secretly Hot Husband was my favorite book of 2023. Well, favorite series, I should say, because I read all three. I read all three books on Tappy Tune. And I'm going to say for the runner-up, I'm going to say Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, because I really love The Villainous Stands the Heroes. It was fantastic. I loved volume 1 and 2. It's one of those volumes or series that I love when I get them in the mail. I love reading them right away. Hi, I'm a Witch. Yes, I continue to deeply enjoy that one as well. And it's sort of the same way where I love reading those volumes as soon as they come in, but I just don't feel like when I think of this is my favorite read of this year, this is a story that I'm going to think about consistently all the time. Those two do not fit. I feel like fit that. But when I think of My Secretly Hot Husband, yes, I have thought about them often. I have gone out of the way to find merch of them, find pen makers who make things of them, and I feel like for the runner-up of Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, I feel it's the exact same way. I love following the creator on Twitter/X and seeing what new art that she's giving us. I love just keeping up to date. I had a friend that is living in Japan, like she just sent me, I'll take a picture or try and share a picture here, but she sent me the second anthology comic, I believe is the name of that. And even though I can't read Japanese, I really, really enjoy this. I feel like My Secretly Hot Husband, yes, sorry, I'm moving it on my screen over to Book of the Year, that yeah, it was my favorite read of 2023 with the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent being the runner-up. I know I said that twice, but I feel like, yes, my brain is like, we are happy with this. I'm looking at everything on my computer. I'm very happy with this bracket. It was very hard. It feels rough saying that Penelope, that she didn't move into further like rounds of the brackets, but I feel like My Girlfriend's Child, you know, that it did really well, and just really, really happy with this. I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm saying a Manwha was my favorite read of 2023 because I feel like the year of 2023 is when I really got on that Manwha hype train. I have been reading so much more Manwha than I ever have, and I deeply, deeply love it. Like, if I had more time where I could just sit and read Manwha and manga, I have even like thought about like, man, maybe I should start a second channel and dedicating it just to Manwha only, because that is just how much I have loved being on this Manwha hype train. And I think the Manwha community, for the most part, like on social media, is a lot of fun. I feel like Twitter is more toxic, but Instagram, it has a really great Manwha community that's really exciting to see, and have loved being part of it. So this was fun. This was fun. It was really intimidating when we were doing those first rounds. Like, oh my gosh, like how do I decide? But My Secretly Hot Husband was my favorite read of 2023, with the Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent being the runner-up. And I would love to hear from you, friends. What were some of your favorite reads from 2023? Are you able to narrow it down to your top 3 favorite manga or manhwa, or just favorite novels in general from 2023? It's so hard, but I would love to hear what you would choose. Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!